Hello everyone, this is the Professor. Good to see you. Now, we all know Guptill89 made a video the other day. I'm not going to do a commentary on it. Done enough of those in the past and already know enough commentators are going to cover this that I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else. I just want to get my points out in a short, unscripted rant. Well, as short as I can make it, well, with me having a time limit on my YouTube channel now because of 2 false flaggings against me. But I'm going to go over some of his major points, his biggest points that he tried to make in there, what I thought were the main items behind him putting his thesis to his rant together. So, first I'm going to cover, and this was a point that I found just straight out stupid, didn't really seem to have a point in it whatsoever, especially where he placed it in the video, was talking about military technology. He stated that there's no purpose behind using technology originally developed for and used by the military. Which I don't understand why he put this in the video in the first place, because up to that point in the video, the only technology he had shown as examples was the iPad, iPhone, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and digital cameras. None of those were developed for the military. None of those were developed solely for the use of the military. Those were all developed as civilian, public technology, not military technology. So, to put that in the video in the first place doesn't really make any sense to me. Why even put that there? I understand that he probably thought this helped strengthen his point and helped strengthen his video, when in fact it actually weakened what he was saying because it had no purpose in there whatsoever. And the greatest thing is, he contradicts himself near the end of the video on this. But I'll get to that in a little bit. Another thing that he brought up was arcades, and how he feels online gaming is killing the arcade scene. Except for in Japan, as he stated. Which, yeah, arcades are pretty much dead. If you don't count things like Chuck E. Cheese, which is an arcade, and you don't count the arcades in malls, which are arcades, or even the Chuck E. Cheese wannabe rip-off companies like Fun City and stuff like that, which all are, I don't know, arcades. They have arcade consoles. They have arcade stands and everything. They have the video games there. So arcades are still going, just not to the point that he is expecting arcades to be, which is a solely arcade area with nothing but arcade consoles, and that's it. I guess he doesn't count Chuck E. Cheese to be an arcade. But I can actually say that you're wrong on saying that online gaming is killing the arcades. Guptill, obviously either you didn't do your research or you're not an avid gamer, or you would know about the video game crash of 1983. Now, the video game crash of 1983, many people try to tie it to the E.T. video game, which that's kind of stupid because it was happening before E.T. The video game crash had already started. I guess they just need something to blame it on. But the video game crash of 1983 was an event where, due to the lack of innovation and change in the video game industry, which, according to you, change is wrong anyway, so you should be totally for this, but due to the lack of innovation and change, the video game industry died for the most part. People were interested in it. People didn't want to buy the new systems, didn't want to buy the new video games, because there was nothing new out there. They didn't care anymore. The interest wasn't there. Now, the console side of video gaming came back due to Nintendo releasing the NES. That saved the console side. That right there alone, that one system saved consoles from the video game crash. But there was nothing. Nothing happened to truly bring the arcades out of this hole that had been created due to the crash in '83. Arcades have been dying since then. They strived for a little while, but there was nothing ever there to help them be solely sufficient upon themselves. There was nothing there to actually do that. That's why arcades have gone across to being things like Chuck E. Cheese, where they got more stuff there that keeps them interested. They will actually bring people into the arcades. So it's not online gaming that killed it. It was the video game crash of '83 and consoles. Home gaming consoles, starting with the NES and the Sega. Those are where you tie the death of arcades to. You don't tie it to online gaming. And you even go on to state how arcades are better than online gaming because you state that Xbox Live, you're going to be spending a ton of money to do that. Xbox Live costs $50 a year, from what I understand. I don't have Xbox Live, I have a PS3. But it costs $50 a year. And you state you're going to be spending and wasting a lot of money playing an online game, like a first-person shooter, and you give Modern Warfare 3 as your example. Hey, Guptill, a real quick question for you. Do you really think that every time someone jumps on an Xbox and turns on Modern Warfare that they spend money to play the game? No, that's included in their $50 a year membership to Xbox Live. They don't spend money each time they play a game. You do that on a PC, which I find it hilarious that there are some people out there who defend PCs to the point they do when the online gaming for a console is a flat rate a year, and then PCs you pay for each game you're going to play. And so there's your financial standing on that point, but that's a whole different subject. But it's $50 a year for Xbox Live, and like you already said, PS3 and the Wii are free to play online. So financially standing, it's much more intelligent to do online gaming via a console than it is an arcade. To play in an arcade, because an arcade, when they were around and going strong, was anywhere between $0.25 to $1 per game. And those games were created for one reason: sucking the money from your pocket. That's what they were made for. They were made to do nothing but make you spend more money. So in an afternoon, on average, people would spend about $50 in an afternoon in an arcade playing 3 games. And then they would go back later and spend another $50 and another $50. So it was more financially sound to go to the consoles instead of go to arcades. Buying a Nintendo Entertainment System back in the day was more intelligent financially. You spend the $150 it costs to buy the system, and then you spend the $20 on a game. And you can play that game as much as you want to your heart's content without spending any more money. While in the arcades, you spent tons of money to play one game. Financially stable. Then you go on to talk about things like film cameras, which I found this to be stupid. Yeah, I understand that, yes, to certain people, film or photography is a better idea. I like film photography myself. I have a 35mm camera in my room. I have one. I love film photography. I love digital photography as well, because digital, quite possibly, comes out a lot better than film on a regular occasion. But you state that it's going to be kind of hard to get into film photography because you can't buy a camera unless you go to a yard sale or a thrift store. Are you an idiot? I can go on Nikon's website right now and see 2 film cameras on Nikon. I can go to Walmart or Bedford and buy a film camera right now. 35mm film cameras. Canon still makes them. They're still out there. It's not as if this is some archaic device that isn't made anymore. They still make them. And then you state that the only people who do film development are X-ray technicians and dentists. When was the last time you went into a Walmart, a Walgreens, or a Bedford camera? They all develop film. Every last one of them still develops film. No, it's not as much that they have just specialized film development sites. No. But there are people who still develop film. Are you an idiot? You actually come off and say that no one does this anymore, despite the fact that I can walk into 3 stores in my town and prove you wrong. Completely and totally wrong on a baseless point. To say that you can't do film photography anymore because you can't find the cameras and people don't develop them. It still is out there. It's still possible to be done. It's not that hard. You can buy the cameras. You can get it developed. Hell, you can take a class and learn to develop it yourself if you want. Make a black room in your house and you can develop it yourself. It's not that hard, really. And this is one of the funniest things to happen in the entire video, was you're talking about e-readers, and just M-Skull freaking called that one. It was hilarious. You talk about the evils of e-readers and why e-readers are horrible, and you don't see the purpose behind them when you can just go to a local library or a bookstore. Here's the thing. Availability. Availability. The book you're looking for is not always going to be at the library, and it's not always going to be at the bookstore. Believe me, I went to the library a couple of days ago to get Ender's Game again by Orson Scott Card, because I wanted to read it again, and I don't actually have the book myself. So I went to the library to look for it, and it was checked out. They didn't have any more copies. If I had an e-reader, I could have went online, gotten it, and read it because of availability. The book you're looking for on an e-reader is always going to be there. It's never going to be checked out, and it's not going to be sold out at a bookstore. It's not going to be sold out like it is at a bookstore. Availability is the biggest thing behind this. You always have the ability to get what book you're looking for in an e-reader. And you talk about batteries and they die. Charge the damn thing! It's not that hard. And most e-readers, even the ones with backlight, they last a day and a half. You can charge them. If you do nothing but read books on them, you last a day and a half on the damn things. And you charge them, and it goes even farther. Isn't that a miraculous thing? It just doesn't make any sense. And it just bringing up driving to the damn place just to have to leave because they don't have what you're looking for. It's an inconvenience. It's a frustration. E-readers are a great thing. Mind you, yes, I love the feel of the actual book in my hand on some things. I have the books I want. They're all in my room. I have tons of books. I love reading. And I wish I had an e-reader because it would just make it easier than carrying around a giant book with me wherever I go to read. And then you bring up Netflix InstaQ and the instant streaming. And you talk about how that's evil. And you say that that's what killed the video rental industry, which is a load of bullshit because I can count at least 6 video rental places in my town. Okay, I can count them. And they had been dying long before that anyway. And Blockbuster, they killed themselves with bad business decisions. They killed themselves. It wasn't Netflix who did it. And you talk about how it's more financially sound to go to a Redbox. And don't bring up gas, because the people who deliver with Netflix have to use gas as well. Despite the fact that the movies delivered for Netflix is done by the Postal Service, which is a government franchise, which the government pays for that gas. So that's kind of a valid point for me. But think about this. To go to Redbox 3 times a month, the movie alone is $3.30. If you go to Redbox and get one movie 3 times a month, $3.30 for the movies. Now say that gives you 5 gallons of gas spent. And where I live, gas is at $3.38 right now. So 5 gallons of gas at $3.38 is $16.68, something like that. Then you add the $3.30 spent on the 3 movies in a month. That's almost $20 a month to rent 3 movies. When on Netflix, you spend $10 for InstaQ. And that's $10 a month, flat rate. If you add the mail delivery for movies, that's $15. So which one's more financially sound? Which one makes more sense financially? That is where you look at for this. Why go to a Redbox when 9 times out of 10 the movie you're looking for is not in there anyway because they keep anywhere between 1 to 2 copies of the movies they have in that particular Redbox? I've gone to Redbox many times and the movie I'm looking for was not there, which meant I wasted the gas going to the Redbox. And I could drive across town to go to another one to see if the movie was there, but that's more gas wasted. You waste gas going to Redbox when you can go on Netflix and find the movie you want right there and watch it right then. InstaQ is a wonderful thing. You don't have to wait for the movie. You don't have to worry about it not being there. You don't have to waste the gas getting there. It's ignorance to say that Netflix and everything is more expensive than going to Redbox. And now, real quick, because I got to end this video here in the next minute and a half, but you state that the phone was a proper change because it simplifies things for us. Because the telegraph, we didn't speak in the telegraph, in the dots and dashes. And you said it was a proper change because it simplified things, and yet you complain about cell phones and video game consoles and InstaQ and everything else when they simplify matters. You say it's okay for the phone to simplify things, but all this other technology that simplifies things, they're evil, they're evil. What the fuck, dude? That is a contradiction. That's hypocrisy. That's ignorance. And then lastly, computers. You talk about how you use computers for their intended purpose, for what they're meant for, and you include uploading videos to the internet. Computers are not meant for uploading videos to the internet. That's something you choose to use them for. Their original design is for data processing and nothing more. Data processing. That's it. You chose to make it upload videos to YouTube. And then at the beginning of the video where you said we shouldn't use military technology, stuff developed for the military. The original computers were developed for the military to calculate bombing strikes and mortar strikes. That's what they were developed for. So you contradicted yourself there as well. But everyone, I got to cut the video here due to time limits on YouTube. So, Guptill, there you go. Most of every one of your points I was able to cover, and I've shut them all down. What you did was make another idiotic video. You made yourself, once again, look like a pseudo-intellectual idiot. Have a wonderful day, people. Adieu.